So here we are for part 5 of the conversation between Paul Washer and Joel Beeke regarding the book by Joel Beeke, Being the Man of God, Being the Man God Calls You to Be. So let's get into it. Let's watch the clip and I'll go ahead and give my take right after.
You got to instruct your children from that chapter, however short or long it may be. You have to instruct them. You have to ask yourself, what are the one or two or maybe even three major takeaways from this chapter that I need to teach my children? That's the most challenging part. And that's where we've had a group of men who worked together on a project for 5 years to produce Family Worship Bible Guide, to do exactly that, to have little paragraphs of 2 or 3 points after each chapter, ending in a question, each one in a question, so that you as a dad just read that for 30 seconds, ask the question, and you have a couple minutes discussion, maybe only 1 minute, maybe two. So you've got 2 minutes maybe of reading 10 verses. You've got 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes average discussing. Maybe one day it will go 7 minutes. You can't predict it. And then you've got the prayer time, and 2, 3, 4 minutes. Remember your children's needs. We always taught them the ACTS formula. Adoration, you start out by telling God how wonderful He is, how great He is, glorious attributes. Then confession, you confess sins, personal sins, family sins. And then thanksgivings, so many things to thank God for in every family. Count your blessings, name them one by one. And then your supplications. Calvin has a big test tomorrow. Esther is coming down with a cold and is sick. Small things, but also big things, their soul and things like that, and their need to grow in grace if they are saved. So 3, 4 minutes, and you try to weave into that a little bit of what you just talked to them about. So there's a little variety in the prayer each day. And then you sing. Psalm 118:15, the Israelites sang in the tents of the righteous. Matthew Henry's father actually, said this is an obvious reference to daily singing in the home. And so the Puritans said you've got to sing at the end. That's what they recommended, the end of family worship, because singing, the memory of the words will go with you further throughout the day.
Wow. So much truth and wisdom in what Joel Beeke just laid down. This is a great clip. So he essentially detailed 4 imperative points of family worship, of which is led by the father. Okay. Now, me and my wife do not have children yet, but I do have an understanding, okay, how significant and important this is to understand that structure, okay, is the emphasis in leadership here. Without structure, you have nothing, okay? And you, the father, you, the dad, you, the head of the family, it is your job to lay forth that structure, to create it for the sake of your family. It is important for Christian fathers to lead their families in a structured fashion that trains, renews, and glorifies God in Christian living. Okay? Glorifying God and uplifting and creating a family of Christian living. Okay, that's your job. That's your primary job for being a dad, a father within the confines of your home. So let's examine the 5 points that Joe mentioned in the clip. Okay, point 1, instruct your children. Okay, Christian fathers should be setting aside time in which they are basically sitting down with their children. Okay, reading good books, of which include the Bible. But this doesn't have to be just the Bible. There are so many books Christian children's books that your children can learn from. There's a wealth of knowledge out there. It's not just the scriptures, but I believe the scripture should be the primary source that you are teaching from, admonishing from. Okay? As a father, be creative, be encouraging, be loving to your children. But it is imperative that you set this time aside. It could be a couple times a week. It could be on the week, whatever. It has to happen. Okay? Joel Beeke references his Family Worship Bible Guide, Okay, and this is important because books like this or guides help you as a father lay forth the foundation, okay, and how you should prepare and bring forth the steps of family worship to your children. So the book Family Worship Bible Guide by Joel Beeke is a good step to take to kind of give you, I guess, a point of reference in how you should go about leading your children in family worship. Okay, point 2 would be discussion. Okay, to simply allow your children to think and meditate on what was just read. Okay, now how a parent would go about these discussions will vary based on the age of the children, but no matter how old they are, granted they are of the speaking age, force your children to think by simply asking them simple questions. It's amazing what children pick up, and it's amazing what children can pick up on over repetitive question asking and examination of the scriptures and what they actually retain. Point 3 would be prayer time. Okay, this is such an important point in family worship: prayer, simple prayer. Now, fathers, if you are not leading your families in prayer, simply you are in sin. Okay, just flat out. One of the ways I've encouraged and taught my wife to be better in prayer is to first always start out by giving thanks to the Lord. Philippians 4:6, do not be anxious for anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God. Now, for me in general, I just simply always start out by first being thankful to God. Now, being thankful in prayer has, for me personally, has been such a deterrent to depression and hopelessness in my own personal life. The reason being thankful works is because it forces you to examine what God has already done for you. So it essentially takes your eyes off of yourself and points your attention to the miraculous work of God in your life that has already been wrought. Too often people come to prayer seeking to just kind of like spill their guts in their need. I need. Okay. And without a mind of thankfulness, that can be destructive, very destructive. Point 4, singing. This is very important as well. Fathers, all of you should have a set of hymnal books in your home. This is very important. Okay. Now in the clip, Joel mentions that singing should be done after praying. And I like his reasoning for it. He mentions that the Puritans advise that you sing at the end of family worship, even after praying, because with singing, the memory of the words will stick with you longer throughout the day. Now, I didn't really think about that before. I would have put praying after singing, but I like that point of view. I like that point of view, and I think I'll stick with that. But hear me in this. You are the man of your household, okay? You alone. So it is you that determines the order of these things. Not another man, but you. No man determines how you will lead your family. Okay. They can lay forth a foundation that's helpful, but that is your right as the head of your household to determine which steps go where. Okay. Now, all of this can be done within 20 to 30 minutes. This doesn't take hours, right? But you would be amazed at the conversations that transpire when God is in the center of them. Me and my wife, we meet at a brother's house. His name is Joel as well, and this brother has been such an encouragement to my life. He's an elder at my church, and his knowledge of church history is just amazing. Him and his wife started a school, a Christian academy for children. He and one of his friends started the school, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing what the Lord is doing in this man. But we and 3 or 4 other families from our church will meet at his house once a month. We have fellowship. We have time of worship. We just talk. We eat a meal. We sing. We pray. And it's absolutely amazing. When we come together and we're singing from the hymnal book and we're lifting our voices to the Lord for his glory. And just the conversation, we talk about the world in light of Christianity, biblical worldviews. We talk about what's in the news. It's amazing when Christians come together under a rooftop and with God in the center, the discussions just go on and on. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to see you in part 6.